27-yard run.
Hey, Roadrunners, welcome back to the Lip Medallion. I'm sporting Rowdy Puffhead in honor of our highest ranking ever. Well, first time ever being ranked this year. We could only move up being idle and having undefeated teams in front of us lose. So what does the AP say? The AP says number 16. The only higher rated G5 school is Cincinnati. They've obviously got the inside track to the playoffs. Now, if they were to make the playoffs, I don't think the BCS rankings or whatever you want to call it, college football rankings, I don't think there's an automatic bring another G5 in for the other bowl that they would normally do. I think that probably Cincinnati would still be that representative, and they'd put a P5 school in, I believe, the Fiesta Bowl. So is where the G5 school is supposed to go. I could be wrong. I don't know exactly which one they'd send the G5 highest ranked G5 school is. Now the issue is, hot on our heels in the AP is BYU, and behind them, I'm looking at this, is Houston, Coastal Carolina, SMU at 23, Louisiana Lafayette at 24, and Fresno at 25. There's a lot of G5 schools down there at the bottom half, right? So if Cincinnati slips up against Houston and SMU, look for the AAC to BCS bus, for lack of a better phrase, and not UTSA, even if we're undefeated. Look, SMU was getting extra credit, and they still are at 23 for playing the same teams we've played, basically. They played UNT, we'll play UNT. They played La Tech, struggled with them. We didn't manhandle Memphis. I mean, it did take a last-second field goal. But we spotted Memphis 7 points and then won 31-28. We manhandled Illinois. So I don't think they could manhandle anybody. They kind of got lucky that there were a lot of blown coverages by Houston last night. So anyway, that's okay. But good job to the Cougars. We needed that. And now we need the Cougars to lose one more and Cincinnati to lose one. And then, there you go. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what we're doing. We should be feeling good. We should actually be wearing our Rowdy Puff heads here, showing it off. It's kind of a take on the Kansas Jayhawks, but that's okay. It's dark blue and orange instead of the red, right? So anyway, what you think? I think we can go undefeated. But now the issue is, how does the football team handle the pressure of knowing that Coach Traylor is probably gone at the end of the year? Do they stay focused? Does Traylor keep them focused? That's where he'll prove how good of a coach he is. Because look, everybody, even those players have to know, their parents have to know Traylor would go to a better job. They all would go to a better school if they came calling, if they could actually recruit, right? If a football team, say Alabama, said, hey, you know what, Sincere, we need a running back, transfer to us. If they could do that, if that was legal, they'd do it. He'd do it. Wouldn't you? I mean, he'd be like the final touches on a championship run for him. Maybe he wouldn't. But would you hold it against him if he did? Some people would. Me, not so much. But we see it all the time now, right? We see where players lose their starting gig and they move on at the end of the season, right? They enter the transfer portal. Or they're a graduate and they get their 4th year in because they redshirt as a freshman, playing as a senior for another program. So, like I said, UTSA just needs to keep winning out. And, if it doesn't work out for us, that's okay. We still have that magical undefeated season. And it can easily happen. I called UTEP losing to FAU because I don't think UTEP's that good. I think they got a defense, but come to find out, they can't score. They don't have an offense. And that showed up at FAU yesterday, losing 28-25, I believe. So 25 points in today's modern football while giving up 28 is not a good offense, right? So we'll see how everything works. I know I'm excited. I wish I could be in El Paso for the game. It's gonna be a tough environment because they're gonna want revenge for losing, and the Roadrunner faithful have to understand this. Every day is a day for excellence. Every game is a game for excellence. There's no we can play mediocre and squeak by with a win, right? There's no we can just turn it on in the fourth quarter. There's none of that. I mean, I get it that you got to figure out the other team, but you can't wait till the fourth quarter to figure out the other team and then just think you're going to make up 3 touchdowns if that what it ends up being. Now, if it's a close game, different story, right? But we don't want to get there. We want the team to come out firing on all cylinders every play. Know where they're supposed to go, which they do. It's been great to watch. So we'll see what happens. Had a week to get everybody a little healthier, not limping as much, get on the massage table, get on the trainer table, get that stuff worked out, able to just let the body just find its way back. For the Roadrunners, this is championship rounds. It's a 12-round season. These are rounds 8, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. These are championship rounds. They got to show they want it, and they are. I have faith. But you know what? I'll say it again. If we slip up and we don't have that magical, perfect season, we've already had a magical season. That's okay. It is okay. That's what we have to understand. It's okay to have that happen. It is okay. Yeah, it would suck, but it's going to be okay. As a Roadrunner, it's going to be okay. So tell me what you think about our rankings. I think 16 might be a little high in the grand scheme of things, but if I'm looking at this, I'm wondering why BYU is 17 with 7-2. Why are they getting extra credit? Coastal Carolina took them to town last year. We were on our third string QB, and it's not like they whipped our butts last year. And I see the same BYU team. They've got 2 losses. I'm looking at Louisiana Lafayette doing it again. Billy Napier is a solid football coach. SMU 7-1 at 23. I can't be mad at that. I mean, yeah, they lost to Houston on the road with that was one crazy game, and you just got to say that's probably accurate for them. I think I like the coaches poll. The coaches poll to me has always been a little bit more. If the coaches poll and if the coaches stay up and they know the coaches, they know the games, they know the team, they know what's going on, then I'm happier with the coaches poll usually. But a lot of times coaches don't really see the teams because they're too busy coaching, right? Whereas the AP have, it's Associated Press. So it's people like me. We watch 8 games on Saturday. It's what we do this time of year, right? So we'll see. We'll see where we stick out. If I look at the rest of it, like I said, Cincinnati's number 2 in the AP. I know they're in the top 4 in the coaches poll. They still got to get through SMU. They still got to get through Houston, and then they got to play the championship game. So this could be a case where SMU beats Cincinnati, right? Hangs a loss on Cincinnati. Houston might lose to Cincinnati. That knocks Houston out of the title game. Then Cincinnati avenges its one loss to Houston. But it's going to depend on where they put those. It looks like they have the inside track. We just got to be prepared for that. The only way that this works out perfectly for UTSA is if they win out and they just stay ahead of everybody else. Like Cincinnati's got to lose twice. I still think they got to lose twice. They're getting a lot of credit for beating Notre Dame, and as they should. Notre Dame was a ranked team. I think Notre Dame was they might have been top 4 team or top 6. So you should kind of get credit for that. By the way, congrats to Coach Perry Eliano, DB's coach at Cincinnati. He was a UTSA coach. I think most people know that follow my channel here. But congrats to him. Two years in a row, he's found his niche and put a solid defensive core of defensive backs out there for Cincinnati. They're playing well. Good for him. Good for Cincinnati. I spent some time in my life in Ohio, so I'm well aware of Cincinnati's not being necessarily a world beater. But, they weren't afraid to play the Ohio States, the Michigans. They had to do that, much like what UTSA has to do. So They're now getting their due, and good for them. Good for them. And I do believe they were also the very first university to adopt AstroTurf, the original AstroTurf. Yeah, kind of cool when you think about it. Look it up. I think they were. Uh, Fresno State at 25 because of beating San Diego State. That knocked San Diego State out of the top 25. This is AP. What we care about are the CFP rankings because that's going to determine what happens when it comes bowl season. Anyway, Roadrunners, that was my take. I hope we stay focused. I hope you stay focused. And if you can't make it to El Paso, we better get 30,000 plus in the Dome for our next 2 home games. Regardless what happens in El Paso, we got to show these kids love. We got to fight on for that Western Conference, Western Division in the Conference USA title. And then we got to fight on for the conference championship in the Dome. I want us to be in the Dome, and I want them to take the tarp off the top, and I want us to have 50,000 people in there rocking and rolling, because that's what big conferences notice. That's what TV contracts notice. That's what they notice. Tickets are $12, $13. You have no excuse to not be in there. None. Let's do it. Let's rock it. Boo! Go Roadrunners.